guys, thank you so much for joining my free meal prep group. Over the course of the next several days, I will be going over how I plan for my meal prep, where I shop for my meal prep, what exactly I buy, and what my meal prep entails. If you're new to your fitness journey, meal prep can be really overwhelming. I know when I started my fitness journey, I had no idea what to eat, how much to eat, what types of workouts to do with the food that I was eating, if I was eating too much or too little. So during the course of this meal prep group, I'm going to break it down to the T for you guys. So I want you to look in the file section of this group, and I will give you a broken down grocery list. I will give you a sample workout program if you're not doing the 14 free day trial of Beachbody On Demand. If that's something you're interested in, please shoot me a message and I will help you enroll with that. You cannot enroll for the free 14-day trial if you've already done so, but I do have some workouts outlined for you that go along with the caloric intake of my meal plan. So if you guys are ready to crush your fitness goals, this is the perfect group for you, and I'm so excited to dive in and share all my secrets with you guys. So the first part of my meal prep is to prep my egg whites with my spinach. And what I do is I use the 6 containers of egg whites with the 2 cans of spinach, and I saute them in a skillet with some olive oil spray on the bottom. I dice up half an onion and a little bit of garlic powder in order to give it some flavor. I cook those up and then I actually put them in a large dish until I'm ready to portion it out. The next thing I do is prep my 90% lean ground beef. While I'm doing that, I'll preheat the oven to about 350 degrees, which will be the temperature I cook my cod and my chicken in. If you are not used to eating your meat plain, a great way to season it is with some low sodium taco seasoning. What's nice about this is that you don't have to worry so much about the sodium intake, but because we are doing a low carb and mostly plant and protein based diet, you don't have to worry so much about that. So I like to season mine with the low sodium taco seasoning. If you would prefer, you can always do it with some sea salt and pepper. Paprika works great, but I just happen to like the low sodium taco seasoning. It kind of just spices up my meal plan a little bit to keep it from being not so monotonous. So my ground beef is done just in time for my oven to be done preheating. So at this time, I will now go on ahead and prep my chicken breasts and my cod. The cod will go in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes at 350, and the chicken for about 35 to 40. I'm sure to always flip my chicken and to flip the cod as So in about 5 minutes, I was able to trim my chicken breasts and season them. Another great way to season your chicken, if you're not a huge fan of salt, pepper, or paprika, is get the chicken a couple of days before, put it in a giant freezer bag with some Red Hot and Red Hot only, and let it marinate for a couple days, and then bake your chicken after it's been marinated in the Red Hot. It is so good. 3 bags of these. So in each of these bags, it is 16 ounces, which each serving is 4 ounces, so that is enough for 4 servings of fish, which is why I get 3 of them. And I will stop the video while I cut these open, but I will show you how I put them on the tray. Okay, so I now have my fish all laid out on the tray, and I will just lightly coat it with some olive oil spray again, and then also put some paprika, sea salt, and pepper on top. And at this point, the chicken has been in the oven for about 3 minutes. So by the time I'm done sprinkling the seasoning on my fish, it'll be perfect timing because again, you want the chicken to cook for about 35 to 45 minutes and the fish to cook for about 20 to 25. Which is nice because I set the timer for 35 minutes and it's at 31. So, on top. I love a lot of pepper. You can do as little or as much as you like on here. I just happen to really like pepper. I also really love Red Hot. Red Hot and Tabasco are a great way to season your food, as well as mustard. They're considered free food. For things like spinach, I love apple cider vinegar or just regular vinegar. The reason we had coconut oil on our grocery list is because it is a healthy fat and it is a great way to, you take a teaspoon and you'll put it on your food for a couple of those meals as outlined in the meal guide that I give you guys before you warm up your food. So these are just about ready to go in the oven. We have about a minute left. You can let the fish thaw the entire time. I like to prep almost as soon as I get back from the store, so they're not fully frozen, but they're not fully thawed yet. It's totally fine. They will still cook all the way through. Just make sure that you flip them. So while my cod and my fish is cooking, I'm going to prep our veggies. Again, I love this olive oil spray. You really can't overdo it with it. I just put a nice coating on the bottom of every tray that I have, and today I will be cooking the asparagus and the broccoli. I'll be baking that, and I'll show you how I season that as well. With the asparagus, about 6 spears is 1 serving, but I'm just going to lay them across the cooking sheet. It doesn't have to be anything special. Just make sure they're kind of evenly distributed. And then, so I already did a nice light coat of the olive oil spray on the bottom. I will do so again on the top. Some people like to cut the bottom of their asparagus off. I like to do it after it's cooked. I really like asparagus, so I don't even mind eating the bottoms, but if you're picky, go ahead and cut those off. I just do pepper and sea salt, so no paprika like we did on the chicken or the fish. I like, again, lots of pepper. And a little sea salt. So now I'll pop these in the oven in about 5 minutes because I want them to cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I'm going to prep my broccoli as well. Again, nice sheer coat on that. And then I have a bag of broccoli, so it'll take me about 3 minutes to wash this and about a minute to cut them. And then I will get these on a tray as well, and I'll pop it in the oven for the same length of time as my asparagus. I don't like them roasted for too long, but I also don't like them undercooked. And it's a great way just to keep your veggies a little bit more fresh as we are prepping for an entire week. While my chicken and cod are cooking, I'm just laying out my Tupperware containers. I just get about 5 or 6 of the Tupperware containers that look like This, you can get them from Tops. I've seen them at Wegmans as well, or whatever your local grocery store is. I believe they are Glade brand. They are super cheap and they stack really nice in your fridge or in your cupboard, and they collapse nicely when you want to store them. So I just go for the cheapest and biggest that I can find, and this just happened to be the best. So again, grab about 5 or 6 containers of these from Tops, Wegmans, or your local food store. Again, it is Glade brand, and I just really seem to like these. I use my green Portion Fix container. For those of you that are familiar with this, it is equivalent to 1 cup, and this will equal about 1 serving of greens and 1 serving of protein. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Portion Fix sizes, what you'll do is you will portion about 6 egg whites, which would be equivalent to about a 4-ounce cup, as well as 1 cup of spinach. So this just happens to fit perfectly, and I use that to set my breakfast containers aside. And as you can tell, I'm not wasting any time during my prep. My prep so far has been about an hour and a half, and I have about 45 minutes left. So give or take, my prep is anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, but again, it's 1 day a week and it saves me a ton of time during the week. So while I'm doing one thing, I'm multitasking and doing another. So there's no downtime, there's no waiting time. I'm just doing what I can to get it all done as fast as possible. Now I'm going through and using my Portion Fix container, my red container, which is for my proteins. It is equivalent to 4 to 6 ounces, depending on how far you pack it in, which is equivalent to 1 protein serving. Your body can only digest about 20 grams of protein per serving. Obviously, after a workout, you do want to load up on a little bit more protein, but for women, it is a little bit harder for us to digest, so you want to try to do it in 20 gram increments. This is my 90% lean ground beef. As you can tell, I went through and portioned some of the other containers already. You don't need a red container to portion this. You just have to portion out 4 to 6 ounces. I had you guys buy about 4 jars of green beans. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put them in a large bowl, which will help me scoop them out easier. Make sure you drain them first because you don't want a lot of liquid in your container. I am now going to scoop the green beans out of the big bowl using my green scoop, which again is about 3/4 to a full cup, and I use this for my veggies. Again, it's green because it corresponds with the Portion Fix containers, and green is equivalent for the veggies. So as you can tell, I was able to portion my green beans out in all of my containers using 4 cans of the green beans that I told you guys to buy. I am a little bit short in this container, but that's okay. It's more of an approximation, and if you want, you can go on ahead and take a couple from some of the other containers, but I'm just going to go on ahead and use this, and I am going to be able to have 6 full servings of veggies from those 4 cans, which are really cheap from Aldi. I just portioned out my cod, and again, it made about 12. I just portioned out my cod. Each bag was 16 ounces, and I bought 3 bags, so that made about 12 cod fillets, which was able to portion out 12 different containers of my cod. 2 of the cods, you had to add a little bit of each just to make sure that they were 4 ounces. With the cod, you do want to make sure that you're getting at least 4 ounces since fish is a lighter protein. You want to make sure that you're getting all those omega-3s and all of that good stuff from the fish. My chicken is also done, and it looks so yummy. What I'll do is I'm actually going to cut this up into little cubes, which I will then scoop my 4-ounce red container into the Tupperware containers. I wanted to quick show you just how absolutely delicious this chicken looks. This was again at 350 for 35 minutes, and it comes out perfect. It is so tender. The key to any successful meal prep is to not overcook your chicken. Since you will be microwaving it, it'll get cooked more then. So obviously you want to make sure there's no pink, but you want to keep your chicken nice and moist and juicy. You can see there's still a lot of juice covering the tray, which means that you have some perfect chicken. And I'm now going to go through and use my 4 to 6 ounce red container to scoop my chicken into my Tupperware trays. My chicken is now portioned, and as you can see, there are 4 days which we have a serving of fish and chicken in the same dish, and then a banana for the other 2 days. The reason for this is because the meal plan I follow is a carb cycling meal plan. So you have 2 days on of low carbs, 1 days off of higher carbs. Fruit, because it is higher in sugar, is considered a carb. 1/2 of banana is considered 1 fruit serving. So if you do a whole banana, it's considered 2 fruit servings. So again, 2 days out of the week we get a higher carb serving. If you wanted to do berries instead of a banana, that's fine. I just prefer to do half a banana in my shake. Typically I will freeze them and then put the frozen banana in my shake, and then I will obviously just save the other half for the next day. But just visually I wanted to show you what a higher carb serving day looked like. So I started my meal prep at just a little bit after 2. It is now 4:50, which means that I've almost made it to the 3-hour mark, a little bit under. My plan is to always keep you guys under 3 hours for your prep, and I am on my last step. So I did my microwave steam bag of sweet potatoes, which I will cut open and I will slice this way, and I will put a little bit of everything but the bagel sesame seasoning on top, which is absolutely delicious. And while I'm waiting for these to cool, because I don't want to burn my fingers while I cut them, I am cooking my steel cut oats. I use about 3 heaping scoops of dry steel cut oats with my carbs container. This is about 1/4 cup of carbs. So if you have a 1/4 cup measuring cup, you can use that as well. If you are using the portion fix containers, you can use this. But I am cooking these on the stove, and they'll typically take about 5 minutes. And then once these are done, I will portion these into my Tupperware containers next to my scrambled egg whites mixed with spinach. And then I will top my greens with my sweet potatoes. So I will show you a picture of those when they are ready. But again, we are keeping this under the 3-hour mark, and I am super excited because it is almost a perfect prep for you guys. Meal prep for the week is complete. I love prepping because then I don't have to worry about a single thing, and it frees up so much time Monday. All right, as you guys can see, the clock actually says 5:03, but that's because I stopped to take a couple pictures of this. So we finished our meal prep in just 3 hours. This frees up so much time for us during the week. We shopped on a budget, which means that now that our meals are prepared, we are going to stay on track this week. I used my portion containers to do all of this, but again, I did the breakdown in the videos. I will also provide them in the file section if you do not have the portion control containers. If you don't have Shakeology, go on ahead and just use a normal protein that you have, whether it's from your local vitamin store or grocery store. But we are done, and it looks fabulous. So now I'll just go on ahead, I'll put the lids on these, and I'll store them in my fridge. And just think about how much more time we have the rest of the week to enjoy our free time, our workouts, and our family, because we don't have to cook anything else. All ready to go in the fridge.